After that 2015 season, going into 2016, I thought I had fulfilled my suspension. You know, I got suspended back in 15 with the Cubs. Well, that was at the end of the season, so I was, and I only had the 1-year contract with the Cubs. So after that season, I didn't have a contract, so I wasn't under a team. In order to serve my suspension, I had to be affiliated with a team. Well, we didn't understand the rules, and going into that 2016 season, me thinking that I fulfilled my suspension, I didn't. When I realized I didn't, and we didn't really. We had a couple teams, like I told you, that we talked to, but it wasn't nobody that was ready to just give me a contract. So my agent at the time, Chris, he was like, you know, go try some independent baseball, and you know, let some people see that you still want to play. You know you still got it. Just, you know, try it out, see what it is. And I was I didn't really know what independent baseball was. You know, at this time, you know, even though, you know, World Series and being with the Cardinals 7 years and Houston and the Blue Jays, and I still was green to the game sometimes. You know, I'm still green. I had so much to learn. And, you know, I was kind of skeptical. I didn't know what was going on. But after, you know, joining the Bridgeport Bluefish, you know, and the Ottawa Champions, it was interesting, to be honest with you. It let me know that it's a lot of guys out here that really, really enjoy the game of baseball, that love it, no matter the talent. They love being a part of it. It was kind of fun to watch.
Now, it's interesting. I want to talk about your background, going back to your college days, but you had a chance to play in front of your family when we were in Gwinnett. I don't know how much I got to see you when you were playing in these northern cities. But you had 3 hits, an outfield assist. What was that like, being able to let them see you play again, and how long had it been?
It's been 3-4 years since they see me play, man. So first of all, being out there was very, very cool. I remember when I didn't even know we was going to Georgia. And when I called my mother, my aunt, and they were like, oh, we on the first thing flying, you know what I mean? They jumped in the car and shot which was kind of nice. It reminded me of my Little League days and them coming to watch me play. But it was cool, you know what I'm saying? I remember my uncle, once he got out the car, he said, look, we here, go show out, you know? You already know what we got to do. So that kind of gave me some inspiration, you know what I mean? But I have a humongous family. God rest my sister's soul, you know, she died in 1998, but I have 16, 17 brothers and sisters counting her. A lot of nieces and nephews, about 20, 22, 25 nieces, and I got a lot of them, I can't even count. So I have a big family, and they always got my support, man, and it was very, very pleasing to see my mother up there watching me play again.
She had to be proud too. Like I said, it was a big game. So
she done seen so many moments for me. You know, the biggest I think is when I got the key to the city in my hometown. But it was a smile, but it was more like, okay, son, you know, get back on your plan. You know what I mean? Because you know, she didn't want to see me suspended and have to go through everything I had to go through, and to see me down, you know what I mean, and not even knowing why I was down, you know what I mean, not even taking responsibility for the things that I have done. She just wanted her son to be, you know, where she thought I should be, you know, and that's happy and successful and all in her eyes. So that was just nice to see her. You know, she was focused. She was more focused than I. You know what I mean? Even when I got my hit, she was looking at me like, okay, let's steal a base. You know what I mean? She was ready for me to make that next. Don't be happy with what you're doing, you know what I mean? Understand it's a moment and keep on going. Do as much as you can. Have fun doing it and focus, you know? So it was real nice having my mother there.
Now, in 2006, it looked like you would be an NFL player, but you wound up being a world champion with the Cardinals, but it was the football that really got you going. Talk about how you transitioned from football to baseball the way it happened at Mississippi State.
Well, in high school, I was a quarterback, and actually, we had an all-star game, and this is kind of like the whole story about my football career. We had an all-star game, the Emerald Coast All-Star, the first in Pensacola. It actually came back. And I had already had a scholarship to Mississippi State my junior year, so they didn't even want me to play. They wanted me just to play baseball. Don't worry about the All-Star game. I had a good year, but just focus on baseball and see if, you know, I can enter the draft and all that kind of stuff. Well, I went behind their back and still played. Well, the last minute of the game, The first 2 series of the game, I started through 2 touchdown passes. We was losing 21-14. They asked me to come back in at the last minute. I scrambled for 40 yards, and somebody pushed me out of bounds, and I tore my ACL. So after I tore my ACL, that was kind of like all right, what am I supposed to do now? And so I go into Mississippi State. They moved me from the offensive side to the defensive side. It was because I couldn't really make moves like I could, and still kind of getting active because they wanted me to play still. So I had to kind of adjust to my knee, and they wanted me to gain weight and all that kind of stuff. But football has always been my first love. Sylvester Croom, actually, I don't even know if y'all familiar with that name, but he's looking for me right now as we speak. He believed in me more than I did. Having him on the side of me and all the wisdom that he had in football, and him just telling me every day that you're an NFL player, that was something that I really didn't expect, because the injuries and the doubt that I had in my mind, being so young, 17, 18 years old, I didn't know what was going on, and he was steady pushing this in my mind, and I got a lot better. I got a whole lot better, and actually it was at one point my freshman year that I realized that, okay, I belong here. I can play here, and football will forever stay in my heart. I love the game.
Well, you mentioned one legendary coach in Sylvester Croom, but then there's also Ron Polk, the baseball coach. He noticed something in you, evidently. What was that relationship like? Because I know he was a driving force to get you to baseball.
I smile because the only thing, when you say Ron Polk, I think about a cigar in his mouth and just sitting there on the sideline watching me play as I'm in my back pedal saying, you need to be playing baseball. And he's a Coach Croom, which, really, he didn't really care for me at first to play both sports because of my knee. When Ron Polk, Coach Polk, asked me to come play, or wanted me to come play, he invited him to practice. He wanted him to watch me play and see that he's a cornerback, but he can go and play with you if he can balance him out. And because I was on football scholarship, and which was kind of neat though, because having him, Coach Croom, and Polk side by side with me, doing the sports, both sports that I want to do, baseball being my first love. I mean football, but playing baseball came easier to me. I was a pitcher, I could hit, and I was fast. And Coach Polk seen it in me before I did. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people back in Pensacola that if I don't name them, if I'm not even gonna name them, if they ever seen this, they're like, I showed you first. But anyway, Coach Polk, he really embedded that baseball kind of idea in my head. Yeah, you can go play some baseball, so you just need to get off this football field.